Hey guys, it's Generalkidd here. How is everyone doing today? So for today's video, we finally got to Halo 1 with this particular series, and I'm going to be showing you guys 10 things that you probably never knew about Halo 1's cutscenes. And a lot of these will be an anniversary, but they'll also be like pretty much the same for Classic as well. But I figured I'd show them an anniversary because it looks a little nicer. But anyways, so the first thing on the list is during the very first cutscene when Captain Keyes is talking to Cortana. You know, you don't really think anything's odd about her, right? She looks totally fine and everything. Well, if we switch to the 360 version, we do a mod where it lets us fly around in the cutscene. This actually causes a glitch where the cutscene plays the classic animations, but with anniversary graphics. And when you do that, you might have seen a few videos out there or pictures where it causes like characters to be really glitched. But none of them showed what Cortana looks like. It's always like zoomed in at her feet if you watch it in classic animations. But if we fly around and get a better look, and we wait for Cortana to spawn here in just a moment, we will see what she looks like in anniversary graphics, but with classic animations. And it is really freaky, as you can see here. Like, oh my god! First time I saw it, I was like, holy crap! She really looks like super like demonic here. And you can do the same thing on the mall during the second cutscene, and it actually lasts longer this time. Because she has more dialogue, and thus we can get a closer look. I'll do like a more specific tutorial on this if you guys are interested, and to show you guys exactly how to do it. You do need a modded Xbox to do it, but if you do, then great. If not, then at least you can see what a demonic version of Cortana looks like. And it's just like there's like two versions of it, and it just depends like on her current animation or her dialogue, and it just looks really like creepy. Like, of all the creepy Cortana glitches I've done in the other Halo games, like Halo 2 Anniversary and Halo 3, this is probably by far the creepiest. And like in this case, she literally looks like some kind of like demon or something. Anyways, for number 2, during this cutscene where on Pillar Bottom, where Johnson is giving a speech, in the background, when he turns around, here you will see a Warthog just drive right by. Now, you may not think anything's odd about a Warthog, but if we fly around again during cutscene, and we watch where the Warthog goes, and follow its path, and see where it goes after it goes off camera, then you will see that it keeps going, and then eventually just crashes. And then it tries to recover, but then crashes again, and then just despawns. But it's pretty funny, like off camera, the Warthog just like slams into it. And if you wonder why they just crashed, if you look over here, the driver is actually just looking all the way to his left and not paying attention to where he's going. So just a little bonus there that you might not have noticed, but the whole time the driver is not facing forward, and that is like the literal definition of distracted driving. And you know, it's no wonder he crashed. And I guess this was a distracted driving PSA brought to you by 343 and Bungie. Now, continuing off of this, actually, there's something else that you might have noticed there, but I will cover it again, and there's actually 2 of it here. But for the third thing, let me show you the second one first. And it's actually the same with the Warthog that just drove by, but later in the speech, another Warthog drives behind Johnson. So 2 Warthogs drive behind him while he's giving the speech. If we look closely at it, and you might want to like pause and take a closer look, I'll play it in slow motion for you guys so you can get a closer look here. But if we look closely at the driver of the Warthog, and if you rewind back to to number 2 and look at that driver as well, the drivers of these Warthogs that pass behind Johnson, both of them, they are driven by Johnson himself. It's actually pretty strange, but it's actually hard to notice because it drives pretty fast. But it's actually like another Sergeant Johnson driving both Warthogs instead of like some random Marine. So that's definitely something that you can see it without modding it, but it's really hard to notice, and it's easier to see from this angle. Now, for number 4, I've actually done a separate video on this a long time ago, but I wanted to cover it again because it's pretty cool, and I think it's pretty important, and perhaps not a lot of people knew about it, or still don't know about it now, because the video was from a while ago. But in a lot of cutscenes in Halo, and even a lot of in-game moments, you know, Echo 419, our Foehammer, she's basically like with us like on a lot of missions. She drops us off, picks us up, and takes us places, and sometimes tells us what to do and stuff like that, or gives us Warthogs and stuff to use. But we never actually see what she looks like in gameplay or anything until Halo Anniversary. And I will show you what we can do. So to see her face, There's a couple ways to see it, but I'm going to show you the easy way and the way with mods as well, actually. But if you want to get a closer look without mods, we can fly out of the map here by throwing the plasma grenade at the beginning, which is also an achievement on MCC, and I think the 360 version, but I'm not sure. But anyways, once you get out here, you can actually see an anniversary graphics only. There's a pilot inside, and that's Foehammer piloting the Pelican. Now, of course, she's wearing a helmet on, covering her face. But if we use this camera, the modded camera, to fly up close, we can actually get a closer look. Now, before I show you her face under the helmet, you can see that like her hands are like these low like untextured hands. But anyways, let's take a look at her face. If we fly in just a little close, we can clip right through her mask, and we can see what she actually looks like. So that is, at least in anniversary graphics, that is Foehammer's face with no eyes. So Halo Anniversary is like probably one of the creepiest Halo games, actually, to be honest, knowing all these things. Like, for number 1, the demonic version of Cortana, and now the no eyes version of Foehammer or Echo Foe 19. It's just such a creepy game, actually. It's pretty scary. Now, for number 5, again, I also did cover this in a previous video, but I also wanted to throw this back in here, just in case you guys didn't see that. If you skip the cutscene at the beginning of Truth and Reconciliation, you'll notice here, on the floor to the corner here, there is an assault rifle just sitting here, and it's nobody really knows why it's there. It's got mysteriously just sitting there. And in anniversary graphics, the flashlight's also on, not in classic though, but in anniversary only. And you can't pick it up, you can't move it, it's just stuck there. So in that video, I actually explained what it was, but just to give you a brief summary, that assault rifle is actually the one that Master Chief uses here in the cutscene. When he falls down here, an assault rifle, that assault rifle on the ground teleports, like flies right to his hand, like he has psychic powers or something. And then it won't be there anymore if you complete the cutscene. But that assault rifle actually starts there, it spawns there, and then it flies to his hand. If you skip the cutscene, that action never happens, and that's why the assault rifle is still there, because it was never deleted when you skip the cutscene. So that's why it's there, if you ever wondered. So, mystery solved for that one again. Now for number 6, going back to the Pillar of Autumn cutscene, and you have to look really close to this one, and it's easier to notice if you play in 4K on an Xbox One X version of MCC. But if we look in the background while the Marines are driving, in just a moment, I will point it out, and I'll also show you screenshots after this up close. But first, I'll just show you the cutscene. So right here in the back, behind those Marines that are running, in that little room there, one Marine is T-posing there. And then when the Warthog drives over there, he changes pose, and then another one is T-poses. So here's the first one. You can see that Marine to the left is just in like a A pose or T-pose, whatever. And then shortly after this, when the Warthog approaches, he teleports to their side, and then the Marine in front of him is also kind of T-pose or A-pose with a floating assault rifle floating by his hand like that. And again, you don't need mods to see this one, but it's really hard to notice, actually. You have to look really closely to be able to see it in the cutscene. Now, number 7. This one, if we watch the cutscene at the beginning of the mission Halo, you're in your Bumblebee life pod, and it crashes into the ground, and all the Marines die. And then after that, you come out, and you see where it crashes. However, let's watch what actually happens, and let's fly back a little bit. So here, that's where the actual crash site is. It's already spawned there. And this is during the cutscene where the life pod comes down. Let's play it on slow motion so you can see its exact path and where it crashes exactly. So you can already see it hasn't crashed yet. It's still mid-air, and it is completely like off course compared to where the actual crash is happening. So 343 and Bungie, they would like us to believe that like you can see here when you crash, you can see the whole like skid marks on the ground. It goes pretty far. It crashed and then slid really far forward, and you can tell by the dirt that's been displaced on the ground. And that's what Bungie and I guess later 343, that's what they want you to believe. But that's what they would like you to believe. But we know better than that. Wake up, people! Don't be sheep. It's a lie. The lifeboat never crashed here. It was an inside job or something. but yeah, so this crash path, it's false. It doesn't actually crash in that path during the cutscene. Anyways, for number 8, this is a pretty small one, but once again, during Johnson's speech, if you go off camera, which I'll show you in a second, but during the speech, you know, he's got a bunch of Marines here, and you don't see any other Marines anywhere. They all lined up to listen to the speech. But if we actually go off camera, and once all the Marines are done lining up, if we turn around and we look all the way back here, once they're done lining up, 2 random Marines just spawn over here. And I don't know why they spawned there. They're just standing there and chilling there and doing nothing. They're not even listening to Johnson's speech. And I don't think they're used for anything either during the cutscene. They're just there. But yeah, so for number 9 for the next one, this one's also kind of a funny one, and you only notice this again if you fly around and look at the cutscene from behind the scenes. But during this cutscene, when Captain Keyes is, when he tells Cortana to bring the ship back up to combat alert status, you'll see a bunch of crewmen or other Marines just running around and scrambling to get things like in motion. Have you ever wondered where they come from? Well, they actually just spawn out of thin air. But that's not what this is about, actually. It's more of what they look like when they spawn out of thin air. And I'll let you watch, and then I will show you in case you missed it. But basically, you might have seen it. It happens for like a split second. But when they spawn in like a T-pose. And it looks really funny if you like freeze it and then watch. So here's a screenshot of it. Here's the first 2 crewmen. They spawn and they're all T-posed here. And they're like, they're basically like challenging each other to like a T-pose showdown, and Captain Keyes is just watching. And then here's the next crewman that spawns, T-posed. And finally, there's a third one that spawns here, and T-posed. And of course, after that, they all run forward, and you don't actually see them T-posed during the actual final cutscene, but that is that's what they look like when they first spawn off camera. Now, number 10, this one a lot of you probably actually already knew about, but it's such a classic one and pretty awesome and funny one that I wanted to show it again, and I think it's like really important to like Halo 1 history at least, as far as like things going on behind the cutscenes go. But on the very end of Halo 1, at the end of the mall, when Cortana says like Halo's finished and Chief says no, I think we're just getting started, he takes his helmet off and the camera pans away, but we don't actually see what it looks like because his head is like kept out of view, and we don't see what it looks like when he takes his helmet off. But if we use a mod to fly around the cutscene, and this only works on the OG Xbox version of Halo and the PC version, not the anniversary version, unfortunately. But if we use a fly camera and fly around and then watch Chief as he takes his helmet off, you can see that when he takes it off, it's another helmet underneath. And it's just pretty funny because like he's wearing like 2 helmets, and yeah, it's just obviously they didn't like model his face or anything. It was never intended to be it. And you would think that it'd be like a headless Master Chief based on like the newer Halo games, but no, it's just another helmet underneath. But yeah, so hopefully you guys did enjoy this, and if you found it to be interesting, as always, make sure to leave a like, leave your thoughts in the comments. If there's anything else you want me to check out or look into, just let me know. And down the road, I will eventually get to the remaining Halo games for this little series. So if there's anything else you want to add to it, or anything I missed, also let me know in the comments, and I'll do my best to look into it. But other than that, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.